Hello, I'm Dave Schneier, and welcome to the Schneier Show. So today's episode of the Schneier Show is about why tax cuts aren't expensive. So the first thing I have to say is this is in reference to the GOP tax cuts that were made by the Republican Party a couple months ago, actually many months ago, but it hasn't been a full year. I just wanted to cover this because for anyone who's still opposed to them or undecided. So just because the Schneier Show wasn't around whenever that happened, so I'm going to discuss it now. So the first thing that is really dumb is whenever people say, like the video's going to be called, tax cuts are expensive. No, that's just mental gymnastics. Tax cuts aren't expensive. Letting people keep their own money isn't expensive. What is expensive is overly high military budget, welfare, Medicaid, Medicare, Department of Education, EPA, Department of Commerce. I could list many more. So those are the expenses mainly that we need to cut, or in some cases abolish. So we have that. Second thing is that it's corporate welfare to cut taxes for the rich. No, it's not welfare to let people keep their own money, no matter how much they're earning. You aren't entitled to a rich person's money. The only money that you're entitled to is your own money. So, and the third thing is that it doesn't cut taxes for poor people. Well, that is kind of true. It didn't cut taxes for poor people. The thing is you can't cut taxes for poor people, you dingus. So, that's a quote from Freedom Tunes, if you're wondering where I got that from. Can't cut taxes for people that barely pay any taxes. Poor people barely pay any taxes. The huge percentage of the taxes actually comes from the 1%. It's like 75% of taxes come from the 1%. So, and what is it, like the top 1% has 50% of the wealth, but then they pay 95%. So, taxes-wise, there are actually some problems with the GOP tax cut. And I'd say the main thing is I support a flat tax at 10%. And I want to abolish income tax. A tariff at 10%, corporate business tax at 10%, sales tax at 10%, everything 10% across the board. But I am against inheritance tax. And the reason why I'm against inheritance tax is because the money was already taxed. So why should you tax it again? That's the main reason I'm against inheritance tax. You see, I'm seeing a glare from these glasses. I don't know if you are from the computer screen. These glasses are supposed to be glare-proof, so that's too bad. But so back to what we were talking about. Inheritance tax. So inheritance tax needs to be abolished. Income tax needs to be abolished. Income tax wasn't even around till 1913. So whenever people say that you have to have income tax to run the government, they explain why for the majority of our nation's history. Actually, I don't know about that, but for a large part of our nation's history, we didn't have income tax, and our nation was, financially just fine. So there were some problems, mainly in race relations during that time. That'd be the main problem, race issues, but that's for another video. So, that's it for this episode of the Schneier Show. But overall, it's better than what was going on. I support a flat tax, but you can't always get your way. Sometimes you gotta settle for the best you can get. So, thank you, Republicans, for passing that almost a year ago. But so that's it for this episode of the Schneier Show. Please like and subscribe to the Schneier Show.